Another rematch, Geneva, Cary-Grove. Cary-Grove handled them pretty well last year, 41-7. But, I think Geneva's got a little bit something in them this week. For one thing, the games at Geneva, they got to like that.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. I mean, they have had their one loss at home this year, but of course, having the home field advantage is definitely a great thing, especially in the playoffs. And we talked about the blowout last year. When I was talking to these players throughout the season, there were a couple of times where Tony Chihino, their quarterback, would be talking to us like, "Hey, that game last year, that woke something up in us. That's part of the motivation of why we want to be so good this year." And so the game with only one loss, so you know they definitely want to get revenge from last year's game against them. It's definitely going to be tough, especially considering Cary-Grove is once again really good. But I feel like this year, especially throughout the playoffs, they haven't been challenged throughout most of the playoffs. I mean, all three of their games, they've scored over 40 points and they have held their opponents to just singular digits. And it's been that way for a lot of the latter half of the season. The only exception being their 44-43 victory over Huntley. So they did show that they do have some things that can be worked around on the offensive side, but for the most part, they've been really good this year, and I just think it's going to be a really good battle. And it even if Geneva doesn't win, it's going to be a lot closer than it was last year.
What is impressive about Cary-Grove too is that they lost their All-State fullback Logan Abrams.